Hey, what's going on, guys? Felix here from Podcasting Secrets, and today I'm going to talk to you about something I learned just today about working smarter rather than working harder. So, I have a day job, and the Podcasting Secrets that I run, the podcasts that I run, these are all kind of side hustles that I've started, and my goal is to eventually get to the point where it becomes my full-time gig. I can make enough income from it to focus only on the podcast, focus only on Podcasting Secrets. And I wanted to learn from other entrepreneurs that have been successful, but I don't want to just learn about what they're doing today to be successful. I wanted to learn about what they were doing at the time that they were at my stage, when they were hustling, when they were trying to build their business. What were they doing? How were they doing it? I want to learn about what they were doing back in the past, back in the beginning, not what they're doing today. So, a famous, popular entrepreneur. He's a Shopify guy. I think he also sells courses, and he basically made I think tens of millions of dollars over the last couple of years. This guy named Kevin David. If you've heard of him, if you haven't, he has a pretty big YouTube channel, and he came on Facebook, he came on Instagram Live, and was taking questions. And whenever I see him on, I always love asking him questions because he always answers questions from his audience. So I was one of the first 50 people in there. So I dropped a question and I asked him, do you work harder or smarter than you do, or do you work harder or smarter now than you do when you first got started? And he told me something I've heard before, but I haven't remembered it until he repeated it, which was that, and this is a very big, important point, and something that I got to kind of learn more about. And what he said was that you always got to work smarter, because even the guy that works at McDonald's, even the janitor, works harder than most people, but they don't get paid as much, they don't have as much quote-unquote success, they don't have as many resources at their hand. And if your goal is to build a business, you have to think about, which is my goal, I have to start thinking about how can I generate the most value as possible. And the point he's trying to make was that even if you work hard, that does not equate to how much somebody values you, how much somebody's willing to pay you for your service, how much people are willing to follow you, how much someone's willing to download and listen to your podcast. It doesn't have to do nearly as much to do about working hard as it has to do with working smart. So he mentioned that even the McDonald's worker, even the janitor works harder than you, and they don't, get as much value out of their work. And that's something that I've been working on improving over the last year, which is how do I work smarter? Because again, I have a day job and I can't have that much time to spend many, many hours, grinding it out, working my own thing, because I don't have the time, B, I don't have the energy, and I have a daughter, I have a family as well, so that also takes up time. So I got to figure out, how do I take the 2-3 hours a day that I have and maximize that, so that the 2-3 hours of work that I put in can kind of basically work over 24 hours. What I mean by that for me is I hire people, right? I have a virtual assistant that helps out with a lot of things, putting together these, I do these Instagram lives, and he's able to, my assistant is able to turn it into a Instagram TV post. He's able to turn it into a post on my Instagram page. He repurposes it so that it's an audiogram that we post later with snippets from this episode, creating these kind of micro content pieces. I have an editor that I've hired for my podcast. My assistant also helps me find guests for my show, helps me coordinate it all, so that I spend most of my time, instead of my time doing things, I spend most of my time planning and setting up the process, setting the guidelines, and teaching other people how to do things. And that's how you work smart. I can work hard and do all these things that I have hired other people to do, but that would take up all my time, and it would actually take up more time than I have available. So that is a clear example for me of something about working smarter extends the amount of time that you have to work on the projects that you're working on, whether that be your podcast or business. So if you don't have the money, to hire people, or it's not in your budget right now, just think one easy way to work smarter is to document your processes. Document the things you do every day so well that when you have to do the same thing every day, you kind of just knock through this checklist, boom, 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 knock them down, and you don't have to think about, to waste your brain energy, to waste time thinking about what you should be doing on each of these steps, instead of a checklist you bang through. If it's, putting together a podcast, you probably have to find the guests. Where do you go find the guests? What emails you send to get the guests? What kind of coordination do you do? How do you get them to book the time on your show? Do you send them an email to get them to get on and record the episode? Do you send them a follow-up email thanking them? You have a process for creating the title and the description, the show notes, all that. Like, these are all things that are done repeatedly. If you have a podcast, you should have them written down somewhere, because if you write them down, you can just walk through it like a robot, and you want to be able to do it, write down, document your process so well that you feel like a robot as you go through it, because that means that you're not wasting energy, you're not wasting time on figuring out how to do it. And that's a great way of working smarter. You document it, and then we get to the point where you can hire somebody, give them the documents, say, here you go, here's exactly what you need to do to accomplish this task. So that's what I've learned about working smarter, not harder, is I always got to think to myself, can someone else do this? Can I teach someone else to do this? One little caveat is that I try to at least do it once myself first, so that I understand how to teach someone to do it. If I can't do it myself, then I cannot teach someone else to do it. So again, I have an audio editor, I have an assistant, I have a Facebook ads guy. I focus on how do I work smarter, not harder. And it starts with ideally hiring people. If you can't hire people yet, focus on documenting your process so that you don't have to spend time pausing and thinking about how to execute every single thing on the podcast you're putting out, on a business you're starting. Document everything, and then again, eventually you get to the point where you can hire people, and then you just pass them the document. So hopefully that helps you out. Think about ways that you can work smarter, not harder. Anything that you do repeatedly, you can work smarter at it, and you can document it, and you can find a way to turn it into a process. Hopefully that helps you out, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.